Hey, how you doing? Welcome to Break Time with Ray. This is episode 4, and today we're going to go back to what we touched on in the last episode about disrespectful children. Are your children disrespectful? And how do we fix that? What I alluded to in the last video, was the child that was talking back to his mother in the store, and was real disrespectful to his mother, and then ended up fighting his mother, took her weave off and was running around with a weave, and it was just really silly. But you got to look at both sides. Well, is the child bad? What was the mother, what is she instilling in him? And so that's what I want to delve into now, disrespectful children, and what are we doing as parents to counteract that. One, when our children are disrespectful, you got to think, well, is it our fault they're disrespectful, or is it the child's fault? Did the child pick something up maybe from a friend or something they saw out in the street, and they'll try it when they come home? Well, the best way to counteract that is to nip that in the bud as soon as possible. Once you see it, nip it, cut it, get it out. It's like a cancer, and it'll fester in them and grow, and if you don't cut it out quickly, it's going to kill any chance of your child having good behavior. Then we got to look at it, is it the parent's fault? What are we doing? Are we being our child's friend? Sometimes you want to be the friend, you don't want to be the bad guy, but hey, you got to be the bad guy. You have to. You're not there to be the child's friend. You're there to nurture and mold them into the man or woman that you want them to be. So, you got to look at it as, hey, you may not like it now, but in the long run, you understand. My mother told me that plenty of times. Trust me, some of the spankings I got, I didn't understand it. She was yelling at me, and I was like, why is she yelling? Why is she fussing? This is crazy. It's not that big a deal. Well, it was a big deal. There was a lot of things that I couldn't do that I just couldn't understand why I couldn't do it. And now that I'm older, I see, and I thank her very much for it, because it made me a much better man. So, I was raised, that's basically how I was raised. My mother wasn't my friend. She didn't become my friend until somewhere in my 20s. And even now to this day at 37, she's still hard on me. She lets me know when I'm wrong, and but it's a lot different now than when I was a child. So other thing is, I see a lot of parents don't do is set boundaries. What kind of boundaries are we setting with our children? Are we showing them that, is it okay to do this? Is it okay to do that? How much freedom are we giving them? How much are you letting them do? One of the things I see now is that, you got a lot of children that call adults by their first names. Usually if you call an adult by their first name, it's usually a Mr. or Mrs. in front of it. Are we instilling that? Cursing. Are you letting your child curse? I've seen this a couple of times. The child cursing at their parent, or cursing about something they saw at 14, 15, 16 years old, and then usually I always hear the phrase or the saying, well, hey, what are they doing when I'm not around? At least they're doing it in front of me. Never quite understood that. I've seen parents letting their child drink at a young age, or underage drinking. They say, well, they're drinking in the house, so I know what they're doing. Well, yeah, they're drinking in the house in front of you. How do you know they're not out drinking when you're not around? Are you still drinking early? Things like that. Are you smoking with your child when they're 14, 15 years old? what kind of values as parents are we instilling in our children? One of the biggest epidemics now is that we have a lot of young people having young children. So, once they grow up, it's kind of like, oh, they almost like brother and sister instead of, mother and daughter, mother and son, or whatever the case may be. Honestly, that's why I see the problem with Justin Bieber and his parents and how he acts. When his parents are very young, and you can kind of see, young parents, him being young, and fame and fortune kind of screws things up. But, hey, it's just my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. I asked a few people at their adult age, do you curse around your parents? And I got a lot of mixed responses. Most people say yeah. Some people say no. Excuse me, I said that backwards. All right, I had a little bit of technical difficulties, but yes. Back to what I was saying. Some people say yes, they curse in front of adults or older people or their parents, and some people say no, I don't. Most people say no, I don't do that. And you can't blame either side. Yes, you are grown, you can curse, you can do what you want to do, supposedly. And it's mostly about what you're raised. Me, honestly, I don't curse around my mother or any older person in my family, because to me that's disrespectful. Honestly, I don't know what the consequences of that may be. So therefore, I'm a little scared of that. My Uncle Palmer, he's like a father to me, so even him, we have some real good conversations, but still I don't curse around him. I still give him the utmost respect. So that's still something to think about. See where we're headed with this. Maybe, we can get these children back on the right track. Like I said in the last video, they really, really need it. And we gotta, as parents and as adults and older people, we gotta stay on them. Stay on these young parents too. Get them, hey, look, this is not what you want to do. Most of the time they don't want to hear it, but hey, still gotta do it. So, that's all I got for today. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like. Also, stay to the end of the video. Gotta check out my aunt Katrina Young. She has a driving school out here in Virginia Beach. Check it out. Come see it. Come see it. A few of you riding around with negative points on your driver's license, get them points up, and get that job that you may be looking for. Learn a little something. Everybody could use a little refresher on driving, especially, for most of us, it's been about 20 years since we first started driving. A lot of rules have changed. Should get you sped up, caught up to date. Make sure you go see her. Call her if you need to, because Katrina Young's Driving School, 757-404-7505. And I'm out. Y'all, everybody have a good one. God bless.
Now why you wanna go and do that, and do that, and do that, and do that?
I like this one.
What?